This is where we are, Santa Teresa Library. Originally, I studied in Cardiff, Wales, in the United Kingdom, where I got my engineering degree in electronics. Prior to that, I am from the country of Trinidad and Tobago, a little small island in the Caribbean off the coast of Venezuela in South America. Trinidad is an oil-rich country, and it had a oil refinery since 1921. To show you where Trinidad is in reference to California, I've zoomed out here. You can see the United States and the west coast there. Back to Trinidad, an oil refinery country. They obviously have oil barrels, and they quickly learned how to make musical instruments which they call pan, or steel drums, or steel bands. And here we have people in a group playing the music. The steel pan instrument was an invention from Trinidad. A second invention was the limbo dance. The third invention by a Trinidadian is the long-range consumer license plate recognition camera. These cameras are modified internally to have a long range of at least 125 feet. As we see here, a professional off-the-shelf camera, and notice the price is nearly $2,000, by a company called GeoVision, only has a range of 65 feet, as we will see here shortly. There we are. As far as I know, this is the only long-range camera that I know of in the consumer market, except for NASA, who might have one camera that can see plates on the moon. This requires a lot of photography knowledge as well as electronic knowledge to set up. I had asked myself what influenced me to work on crime and safety. In 1970, Trinidad almost lost its democracy. But thanks to two top men, top brass, the Deputy Commissioner of Police and the Coast Guard Commander saved the country from being taken over by the Army.
Anniversary of the state of emergency, which was declared in Trinidad and Tobago.
I felt that my home, showed here, was like a command center, as my father's two closest friends, the Deputy Commissioner of Police and the Coast Guard Commander, would come over after work to talk about the troubles of the country. There I witnessed firsthand part of the country's history which nobody has seen. But it also gave me a respect for top people who are protecting their country and did the best of their abilities ahead of their own families. The Deputy Commissioner was fighting on two fronts. On the eastern side of the country, in the central, he was fighting a guerrilla warfare. And on the western tip, he had his officers in the hillside containing the mutineering army from spreading out, while there were negotiations at the army headquarters to surrender. One day, the army decided to go into the city and take over the country. Fortunately, the biggest gun in the country was on the Coast Guard boat. The Coast Guard commander gave the order to fire on the hillside as the army was going to enter the city and take over. This one action saved the democracy of the country, and it gave me a big respect for how the top brass did their jobs the best they could and took care of the country and its democracy. It's for this reason I recognize whenever there's an organization, and I'm thinking of the San Jose Police, the fine job that they do. This is the Coyote Creek neighborhood, shown bordered by orange lines, and two halves separated by Branham Lane. Let's call these halves the northern Coyote Creek and the southern Coyote Creek. This map shows where license plates, cameras are located and plans for future locations. The existing location are in dark green and the plans are for the future are in light green. This is in the northern part of Coyote Creek. We also have in the southern part one license plate camera very close to the entrance from Blossom Hill. Marked in red are the entrances for the northern Coyote Creek neighborhood for both entrances and exits. And if you notice, they are overlapping where license plate cameras are planned to be or do exist. And once these are in place, all of them, this whole area bordered by a red light line will be protected for any crime involving vehicles. I estimate between 30 to 80% of vehicles would be captured, their license plates, because it's not 100%. This is a description of the Coyote Creek security system and what has made it successful. Top on the list is the license plate camera, which identifies suspect vehicles to help solve the crime. Next, we use high-resolution cameras scattered across the neighborhood amongst different houses so we can track a suspect, and if one camera misses out, then another camera will catch the plate. And very important is centralized monitoring, one person having access to multiple cameras, multiple houses. And finally, neighborhood reporting. Each of these components are very important for the successful protection through neighborhood security, especially the neighborhood reporting together with the centralized monitor. In the next clip, we will show an actual capture of following a car, and finally the clip ends with the car plate being captured. What we see here is a car entering the neighborhood. By the way, I am inside this car. This is all inactive. We go from camera 1 to another camera that shows the car continuing deeper into the neighborhood, going down the street. This is camera 2. Then we switch to camera 3 as the car continues. This is the benefit of having access to multiple cameras. This is camera 4, multiple houses, multiple cameras. Camera 5, and after this U-turn here, you will see me in the front passenger seat waving my hand showing that this is all inactive. And the clip ends with a view of this volunteer car license plate. Makes a U-turn, continue for the 6th camera. Here's the 7th or camera 5. You'll see me waving my hand as we come by. There we go. That's me waving there. And here is the car leaving, and it's going to cross one of the locations of the license plate camera. And there we are at 125 feet away. A camera is like a fighter jet. It is as good as the pilots or the central monitor, with a network of residents reporting to the central monitor, all working with law enforcement. This is what that makes our system successful. Everyone should have a good idea of who I am, where I'm from, what I have been doing, what I will do. I am the central monitor. This is based on trust among 6 houses. to allow me to have access to their homes, their cameras. Trust is something that's not easily replaced, and this is what concerns me. If I am not available, then everything stops, and I want to throw the idea out there. What is the alternative to have my function as a backup, replaced, etc.? I don't think the trust will be given among six people, so we have to have a different idea. So, this is the question I propose to everyone to think about ideas that will have the same effect. As I said, cameras are as good as the pilot, and we are the pilots. The neighborhood reporting structure is the pilot, co pilot. The other comment I have is I look forward to working closely with law enforcement. To such a degree, we can solve crimes within the same day, and that would be very nice if we can do that. It is possible. Thank you.